Everybody, I am Lisa and this is Youthfully You, and thank you for joining me. I am just going to do my face, and while I'm doing my face I'm going to talk to you about this beautiful movie that I watched. It's called Young Philadelphian and it stars Paul Newman. Paul Newman is a starving, maybe paralegal, definitely not a lawyer. He is working his way up the ladder. He has an interest in a woman that, very classy lady. He's very interested in her. She and him have instant chemistry. They have this connection and he feels it instantly. He's intrigued by her and she is by him. I think she's a little older than him, but it brings out the more youthful, joyful in her. You can see it. And when they're together, they both are kind of swept up with each other. So you see this in the movie, and then you notice that this woman has a husband. Yes, she does. She has a husband, and Tony is working for her husband. He is his boss. He's older, much, much older. And kind of taking Tony under his wing and watching him from a distance. There was one point in the movie where Tony asked his wife, Carol, to dance. So Tony and Carol are kind of waltzing. Not waltzing, but dancing slowly. And don't notice, but John, Carol's husband, Tony's boss, is watching from a distance. He sees that there's this chemistry, and he kind of just watches from a distance to see what Tony's going to make of this. If Tony's going to act on his instincts or if he's not, because he's probably going to get fired if he does. This older man, John, Carol's husband, pretty darn smart. Watching both of them. Anyway, later that night, John's sleeping. Carol goes to Tony's room. Oh, yes, she does. So Carol goes to Tony's room, and Tony at first fakes sleeping. He thinks that he's sleeping. Well, he's a man. He cannot control his urges. Oh, no, he can't. So, when she gets ready to walk out of the room, he grabs her by the arm. Well, they start kissing. And that's when he tells her, you're crazy, don't you? He says this to her because she walks into his room and is looking for this fun. And he then says, I want you. I don't want a summertime fling. I don't want to be your little boy, for the summertime. I want you. I can't stand to think of you walking down the hallway and I can't be with you, He wants it all. And he is a little younger than her. And he says, you know, I might not be able to give you what you have here, the security, but there's this chemistry, undenying affection that they have towards each other. Anyway, is that too much? She pulls away from him. You know, they made out. She pulls away from him because she's got her husband. Her husband, which is Tony's boss, the head of the firm. It's, you know, his name's on the wall, the plaque. It's his law firm. She just can't. She won't alter, you know, her state, her situation by shacking up, I guess, with somebody that's going to fall in love with her anyway. I'm sure if it was a, you know, a romance, summertime fling, she'd have no problem, but she can't have feelings involved, so she's not going to do it. Anyway, trying to find my hottie. Where'd my hottie go? Oh, right here. So, that is out of the picture. In the meantime, he leaves and goes and he does some overseas. He goes into the service. He has an old buddy there. He runs into him at the hospital. He's doing work over there. I don't know exactly what, but anyway, he's gone for a bit. He comes back. In the meantime, when he comes back, as soon as he comes back, he's not stupid. He's going to go right back to that law firm. You know, he wants to go right back there and be a part of climbing the ladder. So that's what he does. And in the meantime, he runs into his old flame. Her name's Joan. They see each other. And he says to her, because she's married, he says to her, how's your husband? And she said, well, he's passed. And he says, my condolences. I really, really liked him. I thought he was a great guy. And she said, thank you. And he was, you know, I'd still like to see you, if not anything else, but as friends, you know, I'd like to see you. And so, cuts to another scene where I think it's Christmas time. The lawyers really aren't working. They're on vacation. And this little old lady needs some help. And she wants some advice, legal advice. What? I don't know. I'm going to do this. Let's try to figure out what color I want to do with my eyes. I don't think I'm going to go with this. I think I'm going to go with something else. I know number 4 is still available. I don't know. Let's try it. So, where are we at? Okay, so, He's at the law firm. Little old lady gets referred to go see him. They know that he's in his office. It's a little teeny shoebox, little teeny office. So she goes up there. This little old lady's worth like $50 million, if not more. $50 to $100 million. Old oil money, I think. Anyway, this film was made back in 1959. So it's a cute classic, black and white. And I love watching the black and whites every so often because there's some good quality stories to be told. Anywho, so this little woman has a liking towards Mr. Paul Newman as Tony. And they actually strike up a friendship. Tony doesn't want to step on any toes because this sweet old lady does have a lawyer. So his firm does contact her lawyer that's on vacation. And he comes as soon as he hears that she has some things, you know, that she wants to discuss. She needs some help. So, Tony ends up being her lawyer in the long run because he's a good lawyer. That's kind of neat. So, this is a Dixon palette floor. Still for sale. So, where are we at? The old lady and him have this nice rapport. Come to find out, Joan and him, they start dating. They become an item. Joan's grandma is this little old lady. So, hello, Tony now is favored amongst this high society, well-to-do, ta-da. I think I need to fan that out a little bit more. So anyway, so Tony's seeing Joan. Joan's grandma is Miss Wealthy Lady. Tony's old mate from the service winds up in jail. Now, he's drinking a lot. He has one arm. He's pretty messed up. He's from a very wealthy family also. The families all know each other. He calls Tony, his friend, who is, a lawyer. He's basically more of a tax lawyer, though, and not in the criminal sense. He does taxes, things like that. More of a financial type lawyer. Anyway, he goes out of concern for his buddy, and he bails him out of jail. He goes down there to see him. And I'm taking all this right here. Move my hair out of my face. Now Chet is his buddy that's in jail. Chet's in a bit of trouble. His family is fed up with all his shenanigans and doesn't want a lot to do with him. In fact, they've been for years kind of just putting him in little corners of this and that to keep him out of the family spotlight. You know, they want him hidden, not seen. That's for sure. Anyway, so Chet's a mess. And he needs his buddy. So Tony's there to help him. He's reluctant, you know, because he could lose his position. He could lose his friends, his place in the standings with the community, because he was actually thinking about running for office. And having this criminal case and his buddy asking him to defend him because he only trusts him, and Tony was expressing to him that he is not a criminal lawyer. He's better off with somebody that's more qualified. Well, Chet doesn't trust many people. You could see why he wouldn't, because of what his family's done to him. He trusts Tony. So, Tony he steps in and the trial starts. Now, I'm not going to finish the end of the movie because I think you guys should go and check it out. Once again, I'm Lisa with You. Thank you for joining me. And go check out the 1959 classic movie, Young Philadelphian, with Paul Newman. Have a great day. Bye.